parts unknown. I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle. And I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight and everybody who watches the live stream after hours. Ha ha ha. So anyway, you notice on my thumbnail, public notice, judicial corruption, follow the money. Yeah, it's all coming to light, dark to light. And we're going to be enjoying every minute of it. We'll sit back and enjoy the show. They've infiltrated everything, our judicial system, our Congress, our movies even, our movies. You got a 1600s fairy tale from Germany from, like I said, back in 16th century. What would that be, 1520 or something? I don't know what. And they can't even do that right. But anyway, I'm going to show you this quick meme. Bond in 1997. You remember Bond, James Bond. Well, here he is in 2021. Poor little James Bond. What has happened to you? So, yeah, they're infiltrating everything. I'm going to play some videos for folks while we got people coming in and joining us in the chats. Don't forget, from now on, money laundering will be called foreign aid. And we're finding out that is where a lot of the money laundering is coming from. So anyway, enjoy these clips, and I'll be getting with you here in a bit.
Democrat open borders trench single-party rule explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world. Enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
That it is Barack Obama who corrupts the Justice Department. It is Hillary Clinton who routinely breaks the law and gets away with it. And now we have Joe Biden who's learned. He's learned from Obama that doesn't matter what you do, if you're a liberal Democrat, you will not be prosecuted. He learned from Hillary that a person in high public office can get millions and millions of dollars. And they learned from watching Donald Trump that a true outsider willing to take on the entire system could destroy their entire machine. So what you're seeing across the country is a desperate last-ditch effort by a corrupt machine to destroy their most dangerous opponent in a way which not only breaks the Constitution, destroys the rule of law, and establishes a moment of bitterness, which I think will last for a generation or more. I think this is going to be a horrendous period, and we just need to understand the people who want to control America and dictate to the rest of us will break any law, lie about any topic, and manipulate the system any way they can, and that includes a lot of the elite news media.
criminals off the street, and they've given them to her to put into our country. And this will be one of the greatest mistakes in history for them to allow. And I think they probably did it because they think they're going to get votes, but it's not worth it because they're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done. There's never been anything done like this at all. They've destroyed the fabric of our country. Millions of people let in, and all over the world, crime is down all over the world except here. Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's happening at levels that nobody thought possible. This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy. They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and HE in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Yes, indeed. Hi, folks. Nice to see all of you. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. Sissy, Robin, Darla, Melinda, William, Debbie. I got 2 Debbies. Nice to see you. Wayne's in here. Give me a thumbs up. Flannel Cheese. Aracellus. Nice to see you. Max here. Brush is here. Rubber Toe. Mac always gives me a peace sign on my videos after I do them. Justin, how you doing? Marie's here. Miss Mendersu. Kicking Bird. Todd's here. Yeah. Roland. Okay. Angela, nice to see you. So, yeah, one of the things Mr. T says in there, we got to get tough. We got to get tough, and that goes for Congress. Elon came out and said it, that the judiciary is corrupt. And it's plain as the nose on everybody's face. Trump had another presser in the Oval Office. And for once, I didn't hear him making a big deal out of the signal thing. They were probably told, look, just shut up about that. Okay? Ask questions that are germane to what he's invited you into his office for, or stay the hell out. And if you want to ask any questions, ask about Bozo Boasberg here, his wife and his daughter, ripping this country off left and right. Oh, I want to thank Gary for stopping by me a coffee. gave me a big shot in the arm. I appreciate that, Gary, if you're out there. And I had a little video about a woman in Alaska with a 3,000-pound moose last night. And I thought about you. But anyway, I appreciate that. And I appreciate Mike and Bev for supporting last night's broadcast also. So anyway, I got a link in the description. If anybody wants to help out with Buy Me a Coffee, it's greatly appreciated, as this is a viewer-supported channel only. I'm not monetized by YouTube. And it would be appreciated. So, Tank, how you doing? Rebecca, nice to see you. The arrest, yeah, well, was it Alina Haba today? She said, people want arrested, don't worry, they're coming. She's talking about her position in New Jersey. She was sworn in today. Remember, I said it, was talking about it last night, because I said, hey, the night before, I mentioned about these Palestinian cops running around in America with Palestinian flags on their uniforms. You know, I would be uncomfortable if I were of the Jewish faith or in any way felt that they did not take a liking to me. So, you know, hey, we got to cut that stuff out. You're either going to enforce people's rights under the Constitution, obey your oath to the Constitution. You know, 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, really, and back, even saying that word would get you in trouble on UTISL. OATH, oath. Because we had a post that said, remember your oath, right? So, yeah, they need to get rid of that business or get the hell out of the country. You know, you don't come here trying to recreate your world that you supposedly ran away from. Infiltration, we know what the hell it is, not invasion. People are starting to get 20/20 vision. Transparency is going to bring 20/20 vision. People, it's clear-eyed. People are going to see what's going on. Who the hell is this character? Well, we know who his wife is. And these items we're talking about are just the corruption that's known. That's known. Elizabeth Liddy Manson, the founder of an abortion NGO, funded indirectly by USAID and Soros. What did Trump address earlier last week? Last week, he said he would take a strong look at this business of selling body parts. Okay, how far has this nation fallen? How disgusting a notion. What do people just don't want? They don't want to look at it. They don't want to acknowledge this type of barbarism. And they cover it up with verbal rose petals and flowers about taking young people and surgically changing their body in an irreversible way. What a horrible, horrible thing to do. And it's the same with what they're doing with Planned and then Parenthood. Okay, same thing. They're ending a life. So the daughter is Catherine Boasberg, works for a 501c3. Boy, I've had my go-rounds with them. 90% of them are just political activists, okay, called Partners for Justice. Here we go. The verbal rose petals they throw all over their crap that gives criminal, illegal aliens, and gang members, I cut it off. Gives them what? Free legal aid, right? I must have cut it off. Well, that's what they do. They give them free legal aid. What did Judge Boasberg do today? What'd you do today, Judge Boasberg? He extended this 2-week phony and, in my mind, felonious order to keep these animals in our country. Oh, don't call them animals. You're racist. Yeah, whatever. Tell that to the victims. We know their names, and there are stories that will never be told of the horrors that these people have committed. So, anyway, I didn't know I was going to go on that. More got to go, Tank. Rome wasn't built in a day. They're going to have useful idiots helping them set a narrative. And they do it in little ways, big ways. I was watching I was scrolling through my video suggestions, and one of them said, Social Security, long waits on the telephone, hour waits, and all this kinds of stuff. If you've got thousands of people who don't, they think they're doing the right thing. They think Orange Man's bad. They don't really have a cogent political philosophy. They don't really have a ground to stand on. They're not grounded in a particular faith. It's just ethereal crap of verbal rose petals that they hang on to. So they think, well, Trump is going to cause all this trouble. We'll show them. We just won't answer the phones, or we'll drag calls out. I'm sure there are people that are working very hard and processing calls and trying to get to the bottom of complaints and trying to make sure that people aren't trying to scam the system. I'm sure there's thousands of them too. But I'm sure there's thousands that jolly in slowing down and holding things up, just like the press was jollying in reporting every little plane crash in every little cornfield around the country, going, look what Trump did with the FAA, even though it doesn't have a damn bit to do with planes in private fields. So it's a subconscious way of assisting this infiltration by trying to prove Trump and Trump supporters wrong. So, either they're going to have to cut the lights on in their gourd and be part of the solution, not part of the problem, or they can get the hell out of their job. And if they're in this country claiming that they want to live the American dream, you better put your foreign flags away and keep your mouth shut when it comes to what Donald Trump is making decisions about the safety of this nation. And that goes for you too, Bozo Berg. So anyway, Clandestine put this meme out. Here comes Doge. Whose door are they knocking on? The C.I.A. So what's he talking about? What's he talking about? Why did he post that? He said, the Trump administration are officially closing the U.S. aid, and their duties will be absorbed by the State Department. And now Elon is reportedly meeting with CIA Director Radcliffe on Monday. Elon took out the U.S. aid, and it looks like his next target is the mighty CIA. That's my word. Hey, mighty, because, I think this is why Trump wanted to release the JFK files first. He wanted to go public, the public to know why Elon and Doge are about to cleanse that particular three-letter agency. The JFK files confirmed that back in the 60s, they weren't serving the American people and were instead serving their own nefarious interests. Things have only gotten worse since then. Elon is about to go after that three-letter agency. This is exactly what I voted for. Yeah. I maintain personally that the genesis of that agency was greatly assisted by Operation Paperclip. And Adolf's secret police, the rat lines. So anyway, because they certainly have a same methods, right? The same methods. Look who's poking up her ugly head. I played a video of her running her jaws. Guess who's reporting this? Always Be Commie, ABC News. We're all shocked. They're trying to give this damn stupid messaging issue mouth to mouth, okay? Anything to keep it alive, anything to try to trip up the Trump administration. They're going after Pete Hegseth, you know? But hey, they're behind in the game. They took out General Flynn. They were working on that before he even got sworn in. They were working on General Flynn. So here they're 2 months behind, and they're launching a dud. But ABC, who, you know, I'll be surprised if they don't lose their license or if they're still broadcasting. ABC, Disney, right? ABC, The View, hey? ABC losing a lawsuit to Trump for a total of $17 million. Former Secretary Hillary Clinton, in an opinion piece published by New York Times on Friday, blasted President Trump for squandering America's strength and threatening our national security, calling out this week's signal chat controversy. They're banging their pots and pans and raising hell over some people already understand what happened and don't give a damn. Clinton also criticized the Pentagon's move to remove diversity initiatives, namely racist, okay, slammed layoffs in intelligence agencies, and criticized Trump for cozying up to dictators like President Putin. We're all shocked. Yeah, you're going to be shocked, all right. Remember, Jeffrey E., they had phones there. What, y'all use Signal? Did y'all use Signal when you were dealing with Jeffrey E.? I bet you did. And I bet you are crapping your pants just like Goldberg when you found out Trump said the app might have a, quote, problem. Okay, that President Trump and his team didn't actually care about protecting classified information or federal record retention laws. Well, guess what their game is with her emails? They always say, well, the Republicans always complain about Hillary deleting 33,000 emails. And there's a period on the end of that sentence. She didn't just delete them. She let them get out all around the world. She leaked 33,000 emails. That is a 500 times bigger than a stupid little chat conversation that amounted to nothing. But they frame it. She deleted 3,000 emails. That's all. No, she didn't. She let them get out. A huge security breach. Was she really selling information? I don't know. I think we'll get to the bottom of it. But that we already knew, she said. This is the latest thing in a string of self-inflicted wounds by the new administration that are squandering America's strength and threatening our national security. You know, who's buying this crap? Who's buying this crap? And ignoring the what you see on the screen, Boasberg. Well, I've had this poll in my studio for a while. And, you know, I said, well, maybe I shouldn't play it. Because it's showing that the younger generation of women, liberal women, white college women, have a bad opinion of Trump. And they're going to flock to people and sources that validate their view, and they're going to avoid, like the actual plague, anyone who contradicts it or shows them facts. Remember the fleas in the jar? I showed a video of that one time, 2 times. I'll show it again in future videos, I'm sure. So we got to get these people to break out of their TDS spell. But here's the long and the short of it.
Also see this. White women with at least a college degree, the only group of white voters that really kind of is on the left politically, aligned with progressive causes, democratic politics. Give you an example here. It's that DEI question, right here, that we asked about in our poll. We had 2 big statements we read to voters. Basically, do you want to continue DEI programs, or do you think they should be ended? And again, look at this divide here. White men, no degree, end it. White men with a degree, end it, they say. White women, no degree, end it, they say, by double digits. And then white women with a college degree, completely different by a nearly 40-point margin, they say, to continue DEI.
Well, the colleges have been turned into an indoctrination situations, and you see the result of it. Here, look, how much you want to bet that this one here goes to a college? What do they teach people? They're this stupid to make this kind of a statement forever on the internet. Forever. It doesn't go away.
Is there not someone out there with a terminal illness that's willing to do it? I mean, I'm sure people are willing to help. If you're willing to do it, I think that there are people willing to help organize it.
Yeah, what do you think she's talking about? I mean, these offenses should be a year in the joint. At least. I've got more videos of people committing these offenses. Here's another video I had of a college graduate, a liberal egghead know-it-all female. And I'm not picking on females. You know, I love my ladies that come in. I've got a 60-40 advantage with women on my channel. You all know that. The more mature women. Okay? But get a load of this one and listen to what she gets told after her little speech.
My research shows that there's been 82,000 Americans who are registered as POWs or MIAs, which is atrocious and horrible, and it should never happen to any American. But there's 20 million minimum LGBTQ members. So when we're talking about special interest, let's just have some intellectual integrity. I've talked before about the hypocrisy of some of the people up on that dais, and I think that your approach to trying to trick people out of having to fly the pride flag in June by making sure that the POW MIA flag was flown is really disgusting, and again, it's not impartial in any way, and I think that you should be ashamed. I definitely am. Thank you.
It's not common that I respond to public comment, but I will not sit here and have somebody tell me that veterans are a political stunt. How dare you? This country was founded because veterans lost their lives. Hundreds of thousands of people died for this country so that you could fly your pride flag. And man, I am pissed. I'm sorry. This is out of line, and perhaps my council members will censure me for this, but do not ever disparage veterans in my presence, right? Those 82,000 people who never came home will never have a chance to have a family or grow up while you can fly your pride flag. They sacrificed their lives all over the world for America and for freedom around the world. I tolerate your comments, which are always on the attack, and all in your libelous comments on Facebook. I tolerate it because, you know, you probably can't help yourself, but don't ever disparage veterans in front of me. Don't ever disparage veterans in front of me, and we're done.
You got it.
Public comment.
Yeah. She's not used to being talked to like that, but they need to be. There needs to be more talking tos like that. And they need to do away with this Pride Month and anything that is government-sponsored celebrations of a person's hedonistic, carnal desires, okay? Since when the hell do we celebrate that? You leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. That's the way the world turns, okay? But we're not going to pay for your crap anymore. Your guttural, hedonistic crap. And I'm going to play this video too, because they're putting a bill in front of the House. People in this country get caught in this country illegally. They never get citizenship. They're going to codify it, okay? And the Congress has the power to do that. So here's Trump's little word of advice. If they're here illegal, the more we play it, the better. The more people that hear it, the better.
People in our country illegally can self-deport the easy way, or they can get deported the hard way, and that's not pleasant. The Biden administration exploited the CBP-1 app to allow more than 1 million aliens to illegally enter the United States. Now my administration is launching the CBP Home app to give people in our country illegally an easy way to leave now and self-deport voluntarily. If they do, they could potentially have the opportunity to return legally at some point in the future. But if they do not avail themselves of this opportunity, then they will be found, they will be deported, and they will never be admitted again to the United States, ever again. You're never coming in. Using the CBP Home app to leave the United States voluntarily is the safest option for illegal aliens and our law enforcement. It also saves the U.S. taxpayer dollars and valuable CBP and ICE resources. And all of those resources are necessary to focus on dangerous criminal aliens, and that's what we're focused on. The CBP Home app is now available free across all mobile app stores, and I encourage those who have violated our laws to use this option today. Do it right and come back into our country. Do it wrong and you'll never be back again.
Yeah, now on all app stores. You better get it downloaded on your phone and make good use of it. This is a dope. This is a dope that was making a bunch of money on TikTok, flashing cash, giving a finger, never going to get deported. We're stupid. Here's telling us what hurts us. He's been caught. He's already on a plane going the hell out of the country already. He's not Tren de Aragua. He's just an illegal bum that's getting thrown out. What do you got to say about that, Bozo Berg? I mean, Judge Bozo Berg.
Sé que a ustedes no les duele mi contenido. Les duele es que yo facture más que ustedes sin necesidad de andar como esclavos. ¿Capichi? Esa es la diferencia tuya y mía. Que yo siempre voy a hacer dinero sin mucho trabajo. Y tú un explotado, un miserable, ¿sí me entiendes? Un poquitico. Yo siempre seré más que tú. Capichi, métete eso en la cabeza, que no somos iguales. Mira, lo que a ti te cuesta reunir $15,000 en 200 años, yo lo hago en par de meses. Capichi?
Yeah, capiche, you're out of here. You're out of here, Junior. Let's see. I got a bunch of videos. But let me put up what Trump, Mr. President Trump has been putting up. so we can keep abreast of it and have it in the back of our minds while we go through this march through history. Washington, D.C. must become clean and safe again. We need our great police back on the street with no excuses from the mayor or anybody else. The House should take up D.C. funding, a fix that the Senate has passed, and get it done immediately. Okay, Johnson, you got your marching orders. We need to clean up our once beautiful capital city and make it beautiful again. We will be tough on crime like never before. I will work with the mayor on this, and if it does not happen, we'll have no choice but to do it myself. This is what, fourth time he's said this? Washington, D.C. will be better, safer, and more beautiful than ever before. You know, what are you going to do? Wait till there's like 3 months left of his term? No, we want it cleaned up. We want it cleaned up now. So I don't know how many warnings they get, but I know that's at least the third one. Could be 4 or more. Oh, remember I showed you the video of Mark Carney last night? He said, "We're going to be Canada strong. We're going to stand up to Donald Trump." I just finished speaking with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. So wonder he didn't call him the mayor. It was an extremely productive call. We agree on many things, and we'll be meeting immediately after Canada's upcoming election to work on elements of politics, business, and all other factors that will end up being great for both the United States of America and Canada. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he made it publicly known that there is lines of communications open, I guess, to forestall the babble of irreparable damage with our neighbors. And I'll show you some of the propaganda they're putting out to try to stymie what Trump is doing. Let's see. I had Dan Scavino put up a couple of posts I found interesting. And I think it's inside messaging to people that did him wrong in the past. But I'll get him when I come up to it, because he puts up skull and bones, stuff like that. Remember this guy I showed the video yesterday? Tub of lard. I don't want him next to Mr. T. I'm going to put him over here. Him in Boasberg. So, yeah, this guy was ramming Tesla vehicles, right? Well, Andy No put out an update about him. Here we go. What happened with tons of not so much fun or anything, tons of crapola. A heavy-set man, that's a nice way to put it, Andy, in Texarkana, Texas, was arrested on March 25th after allegedly starting a Tesla vandalism spree using a mini four-wheeler outside an all-you-can-eat buffet. Can you imagine that? DeMarquion M. Cox, 33, originally inaccurately named as DeMarquion. You know, I've said before, these choices of names, it's when people are coming out of drugs from a C-section. You know, this one was probably a triple C-section, but is suspected of damaging Tesla cars at 3 locations. The first incident occurred at the Golden Place Buffet. Oh, I bet they were, when he waddled through the door, everybody's like, oh my God, we're not making a dime tonight. Where Cox was captured on video ramming a Tesla with an ATV at full speed. Police received reports of another Tesla damaged in a Lowe's parking lot and a third Tesla damaged near Genesis Prime Care. Cox has previous arrests for domestic violence. Don't touch my chicken leg. The vandalism is part of an international left-wing campaign to damage Tesla property, to intimidate owners, and Elon Musk over his work in the federal government. Exactly right. Exactly right. Thank you for that report, Andy. No, I would hope that that blob didn't just get off free and clear. Here's Marco Rubio. He is performing admirably, I must say. U.S. Rubio cancels more than 300 visas. These are the student visas over pro-Palestine protests. And a lot more are coming. Hi, Angel. Yeah, Alberta separation, that's what I heard, is growing. I think I saw Andrew earlier. Hi, Darla. Nice to see you. There's Andrew. Yeah, I can't go back but so far. Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you, Pappy. So I took the sound out of that video so I wouldn't get a copyright strike. It had a rapper singing, "They Ain't Like Us," while this video was going on. So I'll play it with no sound. And it tells its own story. Oh, I hope the sound's not on. If the sound, I'll cut my mic off. If there's music, I can't play it. But I'll give it a try and see what happens.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Daggone it. That was supposed to have the sound. I took it in the studio and took the sound out. Oh, boy. Well, can I play it? Well, they use the N-word and everything. I hate that. So let me see what I can do. Can I fast forward this anyhow? Some way in this studio? Or do I have to go in an editing studio? There, let's try it now. All right. All right, let's try it now. Keep an eye on what's happening here. Oh, my mic's been off. I've been talking the whole time. I said this song was on. I'm going to switch it out with another video because I think this is the one that the sound's been taken out of. I'm sorry, I didn't know I had my mic off. So anyway, you heard the music, so you can play it in the back of your head. They're not like us. They're not like us. He got blown out of the water. Got blown out of the water. Oh, my gosh. I got to be. Now, remember I put Kelly up, John Kelly, or whatever his name is, the astronaut? We're talking about corruption, right? Elon Musk, at his interview with Brett Baer, came out and said, looks like corruption to him, specifically Judge Boasberg and a lot of these other judges. But I'm wondering about this guy. What happened to you, Mr. Kelly?
I will tell you, Elon's a very smart guy, and he does think outside the box. And when you look at what he's been able to accomplish, not only with SpaceX launching cargo to the International Space Station, hopefully people here pretty soon, an incredible car company, a big solar company. I mean, he tends to know what he's talking about.
Elon Musk kind of turned out to be and I don't want to be driving a car built and designed by so looking forward to my new ride.
Yeah, what happened to you, Kelly? Somebody get to you? I think they did. I think they did. I'm going to play some of Elon's comments here in a second. I'm going to keep going through. That guy from Canada made his little comment yesterday about Trump. And Trump put out a very nice statement, keeping the lines of communication open. Zelensky, I showed you all last night, said that Putin would be gone soon. And that everybody, the war would stop after Putin was gotten rid of, right? Well, Putin had a little conference today, and here's some of the points he talked about. There's reason to believe that the Russian armed forces will finish off the Ukrainian troops. I imagine that's the one Trump said was trapped. He said 2,500. I remember they were up to 10,000, but they were letting them get away on foot on a golden bridge. Remember that? Other statements. It is not clear to us with whom to sign something in Ukraine, since other leaders will come tomorrow, unquote. So, according to him, Zelensky's on the way out. Russia offered to resolve all these issues regarding Ukraine peacefully, even in 2022, but they didn't want to. Civilian authorities in Ukraine are no longer legitimate. If Zelensky is illegitimate, then so are all the others. Wow. That'd be a way to look at it, especially when you think about Autopan Joe, right? But anyway, Russian troops have liberated 99% of the LPR territories. I guess that's about the Kursk incursion, that they just about got everybody out of there. And this here, the new draft agreement between the U.S. and Ukraine on fossil fuels implies the return of all American aid by Kiev. The return of all American aid, the Ukrainian meteorites. So we're supposed to get our money back, $300 billion. It is claimed that the document crosses almost all the red lines previously agreed upon for this project. Trump's doing the take it or leave it. You're out of cards. The most important thing is that the large agreement provides for Ukraine's obligations to compensate the U.S. for the cost of all aid. Like Trump said, the days of us getting screwed over are over. Budgetary, military, humanitarian, and so on. Such assistance must be, quote, calculated, unquote, and written down when signing the document. We want hard numbers. We don't want a bunch of BS. And this amounts to hundreds of billions of dollars. In addition, the project contradicts Ukraine's future membership in the EU. Namely, they keep saying they're going in the EU, and Trump's letting them know, no, you're not. Because this business, this loose talk about them joining NATO is part of the reason this conflict began. Ha ha ha. Yeah, swamp creatures. Yeah. I just looked through the chats real quick. And let's see, here's Mr. T again. Rudy Giuliani put this one up from Mr. T. I didn't post the whole thing because it's very lengthy. Rudy says, American jobs! Exclamation point. Today, President Donald J. Trump and Skadden Arps Slate Mager Flom, okay, say that 3 times fast, LLP, announced the following agreement regarding a series of actions to be taken by Skadden. The long and the short of this is, they're like other major law firms that don't want to end up like Perkins Coie, okay, and get their rear ends kicked out, where they can't engage with the federal government. They're going to provide at least $100 million in pro bono legal services during the Trump administration and beyond to causes that the president and Skadden both support. And the rest of the document goes through a lot of different things, but it is a pledge to stay out of DEI, okay? No more discrimination. And it is a tacit admission that they've done it in the past and they regret it in so many words is what they're saying, and they're going to make up for it. So it's another major law firm that's going to get on board the Trump train. It's either that or get bowled over. Diamond and silk, what did they say? Here we go. House Republicans introduced bill to permanently remove citizenship privileges for illegal aliens. Womp, womp. There you go. This is the type of stuff that's needed. We got to get tough. And we got to get tough not just on the illegal immigrants, but these judges that have been trying to stymie and hamper Trump's agenda using lawfare. Every damn single one of them either got to go to traffic court or get the hell off the bench. Representative Corey Mills of Florida filed a bill on Thursday that would forbid illegal immigrants from becoming citizens of the United States. It's called the No Citizenship for Alien Invaders Act. Good. And we'll see who defies that in the Senate, and we'll get rid of their rear ends too. Donald J. Trump. My administration is breaking all modern presidential staffing records since taking office January 20th. The Presidential Personnel Office has made over 2,200 offers. Now, he's putting this out there to show people help wanted. Jobs are available. You all remember, I used to say, man, I wish I was 20 years younger. I know what I'd be trying to do. I'd be trying to get a law degree. I would be trying to focus on boning up on the Constitution, tort law, libel law, and I'd be trying to either cash in on everybody that's going to be suing over the abuses, or I'd be trying to get a federal position. All have been accepted. To exceptionally qualified candidates who are helping us make America great again. Get on board. We have sent more nominations to the Senate than anyone ever before, and will continue to hire American First patriots. No more infiltrators and lunatics that have graduated from some screwball college, as we work together to unleash our nation's golden age. Thank you, President Trump, for letting people know there's a place for you if you got your head on right. Oh, my goodness. That was Health and Human Services. Here it is. Health and Human Services axes more than $300 million in gender DEI-related health grants now, and they're going to lose the attorneys they used to run to try to sue to stop this stuff. Because if the attorneys keep playing that damn game, they're going to end up like Perkins Coie's out on their rear end. And this is $300 million for California alone. Imagine what you're going to cut from all the other states, or already have cut. Canceled grants include one for adapting a, quote, inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys. And, quote, Buddhism and HIV stigma in Thailand. Oh, that's something we got to worry about in California. So that's history. We're gonna be knocking out billions of that kind of garbage. Garbage. Here, Jack Posobiec put up a good point. This is about that weirdo that got on the signal call. Jack Posobiec said, if Jeffrey Goldberg released classified information from a U.S. government chat group, shouldn't he be prosecuted the same way Julian Assange was? I was told this was a crime. Yeah, if that's your contention, Goldberg, that it's this big damaging episode, why'd you release it? How about you do almost 10 years cooped up in some embassy or in a physical jail? Here is one of the posts Dan Scavino put up yesterday or early this morning, I'm not sure. An anonymous source said that they were told by a colleague who wishes not to be named for fear of retribution that another anonymous source down the hallway said to them that Orange Man is bad. In addition, 3 other anonymous sources said the same thing as well. And he put a skull and crossbones up. 2 of them. 2 skulls and crossbones. Before that, he posted this. Shared a memory just now. Laughy faces with skull and crossbones. Spot on again. Some of you political candidates have such crappy, low-life, grifting, quote, political consultants, unquote, surrounding you. It's very sad to see. He's given somebody a message, especially the ones advising you to avoid Trump or Trump policies. You won't last. The people will, or already are, seeing through ya. Fact check, true. So there's people in the administration that are getting warnings. What do you think it's got to do with Signal, maybe? Oh, my. Jack Posobiec put up Deuce Volt. Idaho, whatever the hell that means, Idaho to implement death penalty for child molesters. The bill passed overwhelmingly in the Idaho Senate by a 30-5 vote. So, that's we got at least 40, I think 48 left to change around. We want that in every state. Here is Diamond Silk put it out, but it's getting around everywhere. Elon Musk. She said, wow, wow, wow. Elon Musk. Well, it's the D.C. circuit is notorious for having a very far left bias. And when you look at the people close to some of these judges, where are they working? Are they working for these NGOs? Yes. Are they the same ones getting this money? Does that seem like a system that lacks corruption? It sounds like corruption to me. We need an investigation immediately. And I'm sure that's ongoing. These judges aren't immune. Here's a good one right here. Here's a lefty professor. An egghead that knows so much what he knows is wrong. But He wants to go to Canada.
They say everything will be okay. But I'm seeing this everywhere, and it's one reason that I am probably leaving the United States
Really?
to the University of Toronto.
Really? Huh. Is that? I was going to ask, what are your thoughts about your own course here? So you feel strongly enough about this that you are going to leave the country?
Yes. Because I would not do this if I saw all of our universities banding together. But it's not just the universities, Michelle. It's the law firms. It's all of our American institutions.
Yeah, all of the American institutions are what? They're getting straightened out, and you don't like it. That's why you want to move, because all the American institutions have been infiltrated and we're cleaning it up. So yeah, move. Get the hell out. Here's another brain surgeon. How much you want to bet this guy's been to college? Okay? A man's man, right? Not the way we used to call a man, but what makes him think he's not going to get in trouble for this kind of talk?
The alternative is rioting. It's vandalism. It's breaking things. If you're like, oh no, well, you talked about Bernie and AOC as controlled opposition, but like, what's the alternative? The alternative is vandalism and rioting and like destroying property. Every single person that has vandalized a Tesla has done more politically than your vote ever has. Like, you need to know that. You need to know that you going and breaking a Tesla's window is more politically effective than, like, Bernie's rhetoric on like, his, like, tour of all these stadiums. Progressives, the left, like, they have never won any of the rights, the civil rights or the changes that we want in the ballot box. We have done that by literally rioting, by literally burning things. So that's the...
Yeah, I think that's enough to get you a minimum of a year in jail. I can't, that's just me talking about these people. They need minimum, no slaps on the wrist. No, you do that kind of stuff. A minimum, depending on severity of the terrorist thing, is up to 20 years. Now, I want to show you all, that was a lefty egghead. You just saw two lefty egghead college types, okay? Now, I got to give you a language warning, because this is one of the females that have been captured through infiltration, and I guarantee you she's college refuse, okay? But whoever she's talking about, the young man she was talking about, dodged a bullet. That's what Citizen Free Press said. They put this video up, and I figured I'd copy it, even though she's cussing. You all know I don't like that. But this is the selection that young men have that have their head on right. And I wonder how happy she would be with either of the two freaks I just played. But anyway, like I said, language warning, she's going to tell us a story about how her attempts to find a mate are working out. I'll put it that way.
Story time on how politics ruined my last relationship. So let me set the scene for you. I was dating this guy. We've been dating for 5 months. And in those 5 months, I was told by my friends, Zoe, he lives in Indiana. He's a fucking Republican. I was like, politics don't matter to me. What was I wrong? And so I was like, it's fine. I don't care. I'm going to get to know him first. We'll decide later. So then we kind of start talking about it. I'm a very liberal woman. So I am obviously... like, very much everyone knows that I'm a liberal woman. My brother's gay, all my friends are gay, also, like, abortion rights, female rights, but anyways, so I would, like, always ask him, I'd be like, what's your politics? Like, who do you where do you lean? And he was just like, well, like socially, I'm a liberal, but economically, I'm a Republican. Fuck that. Okay. Also, he was a 28-year-old man. That's the first red flag, because if there's a 28-year-old man and he's single, there's a fucking reason that he's single. But anyways, so then I'm like, well, like, what makes you, economically Republican? Because, like, I could give you a whole bunch of fucking facts right now that prove that you shouldn't be. And he was like, all of his info is from his friends. And I was like, you get all your information from your fucking redneck friends. Obviously, you can't trust them. You need to do the research yourself. And if you do the research, I told him, I was like, I'll support you based on your decision if you actually research it yourself. Like, I won't care if you're a Republican. But anyways, and so he was like, Zoe, I have much better things to do than research politics. Like, I have way more important things to do. Okay, saying that to me is absolutely fucking insane, but go off, king. I also just didn't care at that point. And so I kind of put it on the back burner. I was like, I can't fucking take this right now. Well, then we get into a little spat. A couple days before election day.
Imagine that. It took that long to get into a spat. I got to give the guy credit. He had some patience. He had some patience.
And we almost broke up. And so I was like, nah, it's fine. I'll give him one more chance, blah, 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 blah. Well, then election day rolls around. And, well, actually, before this, he was not registered to vote. He had never voted before. And he told me that he wanted to vote in this election. And I was like, okay, cool. Do the research. But that's a whole other thing. And so the voter registration deadline was approaching. I could tell he was going to vote against me, let's just say it like that. And so I was like, he is not going to make an educated decision on who he voted for. So guess what? I'm not going to remind him of this voter registration deadline. So then it passed. He didn't register to vote. So there we go. It was saved. He wasn't going to vote. I wouldn't have to deal with it then. But then we got into that little spat, and I was like, let me try one more time. Let me see if he's learned anything from me. And I asked him point blank on election day, I'm like, so who would you have voted for if you would have voted in this election? He was like, I would have voted independent. And I was like, do you know that how harmful and basically wasteful that is? And also, like, check your privilege by saying you're going to vote independently. And he was like, wow, Zoe, I cannot believe that you think my vote would have been a waste. Shut the fuck up, because it is a waste. Look at fucking Philadelphia. All those independent voters could have put us over the edge and could have helped Kamala win. That's another story. And so I was like trying to tell him, I was like, listen, that's harmful. You have to make a decision, because the way that our voting works, like the two-party system, is a fucking joke. You have to pick a side. The independent party never has a chance. So you have to pick a side. And we got into a huge argument about it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. This is my last straw. Again, I'm a very liberal woman. I have to date someone that is on the same page as me, because I can't disagree with someone on something that is so important to me for the rest of my life. I fully respect Republicans. I understand that you want to vote that way, but for me, I don't want to marry you and I don't want to date you. So we ended it, and no regrets. I've been single ever since. It was awesome. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you look really happy. Awesome. Awesome. Her choices are going to be limited to those boneheads I showed you just before. She's not going to get anybody that knows how to chop wood or believe me, I can tell by looking at her what kind of guy she's attracted to. And it ain't going to be those worms I just showed you. But good luck, Missy, because your clock's ticking and word gets out. I mean, people are, who the hell would want to date you besides some delusional lefty weirdo that you don't know if he's going to come home and tell you that he's decided that he's going to take a walk on the wild side or something. Here you go. How much you want to bet she's been to college? Right here. And what class did she learn this philosophy?
Destruction of property is a perfectly viable source of protest. No harming humans, obviously. Yeah. Human life is sacred no matter whose it is. But property these are just things. These are just cars.
Yeah, it's okay to tear up property. That's okay. Sure. Here's somebody she could date right here. Remember that person in the House of Representatives that is really a male, was born a male? Well, here she's putting out he is putting out a TikTok video talking about how the Republicans are going to ruin some wonderful bill. And it's the usual crap. It's something that they have no business being involved in anyway. It's going to cost millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. More busy work for people to sit around and act important. And then when they do something, it's going to be aggravate the general public. But she's going to paint it out as if it's something wonderful the Republicans want to put a stop to. And this is, I'll say it, like they say in New York, this guy, what am I going to do with this guy?
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. You're probably wondering why you're in my Washington, D.C. office refrigerator. Well, let me tell you. The absurdity never ends in a Republican-controlled House of Representatives. Later today, I'll be on my way to the floor of the House of Representatives to vote against repealing an energy efficiency rule. Because the Republicans in Congress, instead of prioritizing lowering costs for working people, instead of prioritizing lowering costs for small businesses, they want to repeal a rule that actually lowers costs for small businesses by guaranteeing that their commercial refrigerators and walk-in refrigerators are more energy efficient. The House of Representatives is spending time trying to save solid refrigerator doors. They don't want windows in the doors because God forbid you can see inside a refrigerator before you enter it if it's a walk-in refrigerator. What the f are we doing?
Look at that look on the face at the end. What is it your business about what kind of refrigerator I want to have? And what makes you so brilliant? Look at the state you're in mentally. And you're going to want to do anything to influence my life? So anyway, maybe the one that got rid of her boyfriend will end up with that thing. Or here's one. She could see if he's available for a date. This guy right here. I don't know. I think he's married. I don't know. But what do they care about that kind of stuff?
This man just threw away his entire career because he wanted to key a Tesla. And of course, he was caught on camera doing it.
No. Okay. I don't know what happened. You didn't key that Tesla? No. Okay.
His name is Jim Pellis, a former regional sales director for Armor Code in Massachusetts. He waited until no one was around, casually walked up to the Tesla and, thinking no one would see him, dragged his key across the car's paint, leaving a deep scratch. What he didn't realize was that Tesla's built-in cameras were recording everything. Crystal clear footage, no denying it. It didn't take long for the internet to track him down. His company put out a statement distancing themselves, saying they don't condone vandalism and that this is now in the hands of the authorities. And Jim? He went into full panic mode, deleted his LinkedIn, tried to erase himself from the internet. But it's too late. This is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. Imagine being a grown adult and doing something this stupid. If you don't like Musk or Tesla, fine. But damaging someone else's car doesn't hurt Elon. It hurts a regular person who worked hard for it. And thanks to Tesla's cameras, he's now facing the consequences of his actions.
Yeah, name and shame. Name and shame. We got a girl you can date. She just put herself out on the market. Here's another one right here. She should look up this person's Facebook or Instagram. They can get together. Let me see. I don't care if they're using an ink pen, one guy, I don't know if I have that video in here or not. He's really disgusting. But I don't know if I have it, I have it. But any damage that they do, even if it's just you can wash it off, or it should a minimum of a year. A minimum of a year, given the fact that it is affecting people, their political positions, their freedom of speech, trying to terrorize people about those issues. That should get them at least a year in the joint. Here's Elon. Let's see. Elon's talking about. I'm not sure I forget how long this one is, how long this video is, but it has to do. It might be about the $1 billion survey. Maybe not. Maybe it's another issue. Let me play it. We'll see.
Our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. So a nominal deficit of $2 trillion.
Yeah, $1 trillion from I think it's $7 trillion down to $6 trillion a year. A 15% cut. You could cut 15% out of any damn thing if you have to. That's not a big deal. But let me let him finish, and I'll put my 2 cents in.
To try to cut the deficit in half to $1 trillion, or looked at it in total federal spending to drop the federal spending from $7 trillion to $6 trillion. So, sort of at a high level, you should think of this as we want to reduce the spending by eliminating waste and fraud, reduce the spending by 15%, which seems really quite achievable. The government is not efficient, and there's a lot of waste and fraud. So we feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
Without affecting any of the $1 trillion per year being peed away. But I'll tell you one thing: you think $1 trillion in savings gets it down to $6 trillion. Think about how much Trump is bringing in on gold cards, okay? What they're going to bring on tariffs, what they're going to bring on energy sales, and all the other things that he's working on. Our budget's going to be covered, I believe, with the combination of all those things. Our government's going to be covered. Now, we get a nightly dose. What's his name? Jenner? What's his name? Anyway, here's where he sets a bunch of liberals straight. I enjoy listening to him. Here we go. Every night he comes out with something good.
Believe in accountability.
I think Republicans aren't interested in any lectures on accountability in the military after the Biden administration. I mean, the bar for getting rid of a Secretary of Defense is apparently pretty high. You can get 13 people killed and go AWOL and not tell the commander-in-chief, and that's not a fireable offense. He gives lectures about accountability and national security after letting 10 million people into the country who raped and murdered and committed violent acts, and no remorse or accountability.
What are you talking
no
about?
More lectures. No more lectures about national security. This was a hugely successful mission. The decision was righteous. The strike was the exact right thing to do, and it was executed flawlessly.
He was not on that signal chain, but the idea that he didn't know about it when he was first asked about it, and the extent to which he doesn't know, seems rather deliberate.
If he didn't know, and he didn't have the facts, or he hadn't been briefed on it, what is the alternative here? To go out and make something up, or to say, I don't know, I haven't been told. And my understanding is he didn't know about it. He wasn't on it. Maybe he wasn't even aware what signal is. I mean, it is not inconceivable that the president, when I didn't see the timestamps on these questions, didn't actually have enough information to comment publicly at the time on any of these matters. It's not out of the ordinary for a president to hold back until they have all the facts or all the things they need to know to make a legitimate comment.
He has not been briefed, and he can't speak to it.
And what's worse, a president not having all the information he needs to make a legitimate comment, so he holds back in the moment before being ready to make a comment, or I don't know, willfully lying to the American people about the condition of the President of the United States, which went on for 4 years in this country by all of your colleagues.
Totally wrong. That is totally wrong. That is totally wrong.
I hope you read all the books that are coming out. I hope you read all the books that are coming out.
Joe Biden. I mean,
you guys
I don't
are
know if you're
upset
a judge.
that Trump is exhibiting some, I want to get more facts and I'm going to be lectured by the people who lied to the American people about the condition of the president?
Oh my God!
No way.
No, but
Not going to take it.
that's first of all, that's outrageous.
Is
That's
it?
outrageous. Yes, it is.
You
I
think
did
the
not
truth was
lie.
told? You think the truth was told?
I will say.
Did the White
and
House tell the truth?
I will look forward to this discussion.
Do you all believe the truth was told about Biden?
Scott, do you want government or do you want your lick back? Because even if all of that happened in the past, we're in the present now. So we need a president that is capable.
And so what? He said, "I don't know." What did it hurt your life that he said, "I don't know"? One time.
Biden did it. Biden did it.
Sure,
Biden
I
did
can.
it. You
Of course, I can.
That for 4 years.
I absolutely
and expect
can.
the country to move
I
forward.
100% can.
You cannot.
Biden wrote it for 4 years on Trump, and Obama wrote it for 8 years on George W. Bush. You're damn right. We were right. Years is that?
Who's this new butterball at the end? So what if all that stuff happened in the past? We're in the present now. Talk about security breaches. We didn't even have a president who, like Trump said, knew he was alive. And all the documents they had spread all over Hell's Half Acre. We didn't know who was running the country. And they're talking about this stupid signal chat crap and won't let it go. I don't think Scott Jennings could put up with that blonde I had up earlier. You know, she was rough. I don't even think the mighty Scott Jennings could even put up with that. But let's see. Here is Alina Habba. You all want to talk about, I don't know what, New Jersey. You want to talk about a corrupt part of the country. Right next door, okay? Right over the bridge is New York, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, all that stuff. Well, let's listen to this little interview here.
Looking at Crockett pretty closely, she seems to say whatever she wants about Elon Musk, about Tesla, about potential danger. Does she understand what she's getting herself into?
I don't think so. I think she's used to the last administration where they were all bark and no bite. That's not this one. Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, which I'm now proud to be a part of, I can tell you very clearly that we will not tolerate that. If you threaten anybody, especially somebody who's a patriot who's taking care of this country and getting rid of fraud and waste, we're going to come at you. Do not threaten people. And if you are a government official, you better recheck your ethics rules. And that's what Pam was speaking about. It's enough of this. It's enough of this. And we're going to come down hard on it. And she's made that very clear.
Yeah, I mean, you have two task forces. You have one, the Tesla terrorism task force, and then you have this fraud task force. You're hearing these kids that are 9 months old, Alina, they're getting checks for $100,000. Something tells me their parents might have orchestrated that.
Yeah. Something like that. Or the government when you're 320 years old and you're still getting Social Security. Look, there has been so much corruption. I can tell you that is part of why this administration is going to be so, frankly, it's why they're pissing off the left, because that corruption was not going to us. I'll tell you that much. We weren't taking 300-year-old and 6-month-old babies' Social Security checks. Somebody was getting that money, and we're going to follow the money. The best thing about financial fraud is that we can recover it, we can track it, and we will find it. Whether you did it through layers of an NGO, whether you did it through private sector, we'll still track it. The money went somewhere. So they're making a massive mistake, and Crockett can keep on threatening us, but I would advise her against that.
Yeah, I would advise her against threatening. But like she said, follow the money. It leaves a trail. That's the good thing about money. It leaves a trail. And I think people are being put in position all around the country to conduct this RICO case against these corrupt people. And we're just seeing we're on the screen right now. We're just seeing the surface of it. Don't forget, we got Engoron, we got Merchan, we got Kaplan, we got Judge Middleton in Florida. We've got what's her name? Barrett Jackson or whatever her name is. I got a story on her too. Let me see. Oh, I might as well put this up in case I got anybody in the UK watching. Well, like I said the other night, they're banning Japanese swords or ceremonial swords in Britain. UK politics. There's a mugshot. Man jailed for carrying replica sword for Legend of Zelda video game in public. Carrying a sword for a video game. Keir Starmer said, confirmed, ninja swords will be banned by this summer. When we promise action, we take it. Yeah, Keir Starmer, Mr. Tough Guy. Well, Babylon Bee, they're not going to be outdone. We got her. British police arrest dangerous 80-year-old who spread butter using a knife. We tried to warn you all in 1776. You wouldn't listen. Here's some more corruption. ABC News putting this out there. I guess trying to build a case that it's wrong to keep transgenders out of the army, out of the armed forces, if allowed to go into effect. The Trump administration's new policy on transgender soldiers would be a de facto blanket prohibition, a federal judge wrote Thursday, while issuing a preliminary injunction against the policy. So a federal judge wants to tell the U.S. military that they have to include transgenders in the armed forces. People who have to stay on a lifetime of medication are not battle ready, will never be battle ready, and we got to pay for all the drugs, surgeries, bedwetting, whatever. So I don't know which judge this is. I think it's that one from, maybe she was born in Venezuela and says she's a LBG whatever person. They need to be gotten rid of. We can't have that. We can't survive as a nation with that kind of person implementing our laws. Oh, you heard Elena Haba talking about Crockett. Well, here's Laura Loomer put out something exclusive. Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett donates over $50,000 to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee during the 2024 election cycle. Where did she get that kind of money? That's according to the Federal Election Committee. Well, yeah, bedwetting, Miss Mindersue. I mean, you get your plumbing tweaked and cut up and stuff here and there, and whatever they do, I'm sure you have a period of time. We have problems in the Johnny house, so to speak. Oh, here's Brett Baer talking to Elon Musk. What was this about? Behind the scenes. Let's see. I'm not sure what this subject is on this clip. We'll see.
For you, what's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey. Do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
A survey about the national parks costs $1 billion, and nobody even knows what the hell the results are. $1 billion casually is the word to use, casually thrown to the wind, because we're going to do an online survey whether or not people like the national parks. It's just flat out theft. Flat out theft. Oh, did you all hear Elon sold X Elon Musk put this out. XAI has acquired X in an all-stock transaction. The combined values, 80 billion, and X is at 33 billion, 45 billion less 12 billion in debt. Since its founding 2 years ago, XAI has rapidly become one of the leading AI labs in the world, building models and data centers at unprecedented speed and scale. X is the digital town square, where more than 600 million active users. How many does Blue Sky have? Go to find the real-time source of ground truth in the last 2 years has been transformed into one of the most efficient companies in the world, positioning it to deliver scalable growth. What else you got to say here? Yeah, he's the most efficient company because he got rid of, what was the percent? 80% or more of the workforce? Just like he's trying to do now. The future will be intertwined. Today, we officially take the step to combine the data, models, compute, distribution, and talent. This combination will unlock immense potential by blending AI's advanced AI capability and expertise with X's massive reach. The combined, I'm wondering the same thing too. Who's that? Is that a name over in China? XAI, Miss Minderzu said. The combined company will deliver smarter, more meaningful experiences to billions of people while staying true to our core mission of seeking truth and advancing knowledge. This will allow us to build a platform that doesn't just reflect the world, but actively accelerates human progress. I would like to thank the hardcore dedication of everyone at XAI and X that has brought us to this point. This is just the beginning. Thank you for your continued partnership and support. Okay, well, I didn't hear a lot of news services talking about it like it was a big deal. But there you have it. It's happened. It's done. A done deal. So as they say, a done deal. And Wokeness put this up. A lot more visas need to be revoked. And here we got a pack of kooks. I guess they're burning American flags and screaming and yelling, jumping around. I'm sure they're all being tracked, and they're using AI to round these people up, right? This is the kind of stuff I hope gets around much better than I can ever dream of doing. Newsmax feels confident Elon Musk slashing $1 trillion in federal spending could be achieved without impacting crucial government services. You know, that kind of stuff. People want information so quick and they want to move on to the next thing. And so I don't know. Hopefully it'll cool these people down before they hurt somebody with their lunacy. Here's where Trump was talking about Elise Stefanik. I think this is the one about her keeping her House seat. It's important. Can't take chances.
Okay, please. Mr. President, yesterday you asked Representative Stefanik to stay in her seat. Can you explain your reason for that? Did it have anything to do with the tight polling in the Florida district that former Representative Waltz held?
Well, I think we're doing, I think we had, as you know, we have a few elections going on. And she is phenomenal, number one. She is a friend of mine, and she was going to go to the United Nations. And I said, look, there's a lot of room for doing that or something else. But she's very popular in her district, and I didn't want to take a chance. I don't even know who else is running. I assume somebody else would have been running. But if she runs, she can't be, you never want to say can't be beaten, but I think can't be beaten. She's very, very well-liked and very smart. And I said, Lise, would you do me a favor? We cannot take a chance. We have a slim margin. We don't want to take any chances. We don't want to experiment. And she polls like I do. I won her district, as you know, by a lot of points. And she also does very well there. When it comes to Florida, you have two races, and they seem to be good. It's a Trump plus 32 area. The one thing is they're spending like $12 million, and our candidate doesn't have that kind of money, spending much less than that, like maybe 1/12, about $1 million, a little bit more than $1 million. So the airwaves are blanketed, and you never know what happens in a case like that. I won it by 32 points, and it's very, very strong. It used to be Democrat, but when I came along, they liked me for whatever reason. You'll have to explain that, but they liked me, and we're way up. But you don't know what happened. Second district, who seems to be in pretty good shape, but likewise, he's being outspent about 5 to 1. So we don't want to take any chances. So I went to Elise and I said, Elise, do you mind? A very highly rated person, you know, she was a real leader. And she will be again. I spoke with Mike Johnson. They're going to put her in a high leadership position. But will you mind staying in Congress? Because we don't want to take any chances. And it's as simple as that. It's basic politics. It's politics 101. She's very popular. She's going to win. And somebody else will probably win, too, because we did very well there. I did very well there. But the word probably is no good. So I really appreciate her doing it. She's doing me a big favor when she does it, because she was all set to go to the United Nations, and she would have dealt with Putin and Zelensky and everybody else, and she would have been very effective. But we really want to.
Well, I'll tell you, the Democrats stay laser focused on every election, midterms, president. They've got their operation at full bore. They're going to have their operation at full bore this time around. The one place they are going to dump money is elections, okay? They're going to be losing billions in their bribe money, their grift money, and all that. But they're going to make sure that they dump as much money as they can into elections. And that's where the Republicans are weak. You know, people say, "Oh, we're going to win. We don't need to." Local elections are everything. Here's Trump talking about the drones and Iran. Iran put out a statement that softened their position. They were saying, we're not going to have any negotiations with America. We do what we want. Now they're saying it today. They put out a statement. Might have something to do with what Trump said. If it's in this clip, that it's not going to go very well for them if they don't work with him. They put out a statement saying, we will conduct third-party, like a buffer between direct talks. But now they're talking that they're going to have talks, something they weren't doing before.
Drones are attacking Ukraine every day.
That's it.
Iranian drones are attacking and killing Ukrainians every day. Why aren't you doing something about that?
Well, we're going to see what happens with that. I'm getting reports on that, and we're looking at a report. You're right. They make a lot of drones. Iran makes a lot of drones. They make very effective drones, too. They do very effectively at some things, but Iran is very high on my list of things to watch. And as you probably know, I sent them a letter just recently. And I said, you're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to either have to talk and talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Iran. And I don't want that to happen. My big preference, and I don't say this through strength or weakness, my big preference is we work it out with Iran. But if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Iran. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Come on, guys.
He didn't mince words. He didn't. You notice how the video was glitching? That was the White House feed. That happened yesterday, and it happened today. What in the world is going on with the White House feed having glitches in it while Trump's talking? That reminds me of when the lights went out. Remember when Trump was having a talk during his first term and the lights mysteriously went out? Anyway, hopefully there's nothing like that going on. If it is, they corral it and put a stop to it. Trump was talking about Greenland. And I think this is his comment on Greenland. And you know J.D. Vance is over there with his wife, right? There's so much going on. So much going on. But let's hear what he's got to say about Greenland. We need it for world security.
And right now, do you have plans to expand U.S. military presence in Greenland? Is that...
We get along very well with Greenland. We get along very well with Denmark. We've always had a good relationship. Denmark does a lot of business in the United States. We don't do so much there, but they do a lot of business in the United States. And I think they want to see, I think everybody wants to see that work out. We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can. If you look at Greenland right now, if you look at the waterways, you have Chinese and Russian ships all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do that. We're not relying on Denmark or anybody else to take care of that situation. And we're not talking about peace for the United States. We're talking about world peace. We're talking about international security.
Yeah, international. So Trump put this out about Greenland. Did you all get to see this on Truth Social? I went ahead and made a copy of it. Our involvement with Greenland when we were fighting against Adolf, right? How much we needed to be involved with Greenland then.
Tundra, a bond was born, not from treaties or trade, but from blood and bravery. While Germany controlled Europe, the Nazis set their sights on the Arctic. Greenland became an unwitting combatant, and the United States stepped in, not to conquer, but to protect. In 1943, nearly 1,000 American soldiers with 4 chaplains set sail from New York to Greenland, carrying with them hope, duty, and a quiet fear. But their ship was torpedoed by a Nazi U-boat, and the frigid waters of the North Atlantic became a grave. Those 4 chaplains gave up their life vests, giving their lives so that others might live, to protect America and Greenland. Their sacrifices helped win our freedom, and we will never forget. Together, Americans and Greenlanders stood as sentinels at the top of the world. But today, Greenland faces new threats, from Russian aggression and Chinese expansion. Our shared legacy lives on in every joint mission, every Arctic patrol, every partnership forged in the shadow of melting ice and rising tensions. This is not just history, it is destiny. Now is the time to stand together again. For peace, for security, for the future, America stands with...
Well, you heard the word destiny in there. You know, people might pick up on that and say, oh, manifest destiny and all this kind of stuff. Well, maybe it is manifest destiny. But my next broadcast, I'll go over this stuff. What happened today, the Trump administration filed with the Supreme Court concerning this Judge Bozoberg, and they used terms in their filing that I found very interesting, and I'll go over them with you. Multiple times they mentioned the term irregular warfare and hostile actions. So I'll go over that in my future broadcasts. But they just posted that today. Did you all remember to give me a thumbs up? I hope you did. I'll give you a blast from the past. This photo is from 1955. It's called A Few Seconds Before Happiness. You might want to put that on your Meta page to give people a little smile. You remember when Dogs taught kids responsibility, compassion, okay? Gave them a friend they would remember for the rest of their lives. Instead of talking to them about some of the things they talk to them about now. So I have a video that I think you all will enjoy. Nice lady working, you see? Excuse me. So I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And we'll be getting together on Sunday or Monday. Now, if something big happens, I might post tomorrow. Please remember to give me a thumbs up. And thank you again to Gary for stopping by me a coffee and helping support tonight's broadcast. I have a link in the description if anybody wants to help the channel out, as this is a totally viewer-supported endeavor here on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you all have a great weekend. And till I see you again, this is Mountain Man, over and out.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Question. I forgot my wallet at home. Is there any chance I could get like a piece of bread?
No problem. Just want something to eat.
Yeah.
You want a cup of coffee?
You sure?
I paid for it.
Are you sure?
For it, yes.
Why are you doing that?
We're human and we have to be nice to each other.
Very
Never
good.
know when I might see you on the road and you might be of help to me.
I'm Zachary, by the way. Nice
I'm
to meet
Sonia.
you. Are you sure?
Yes, I will pay for it. Don't worry about it. I'm very sure. If I wasn't sure, I wouldn't do it. We have to be kind to each other. It's okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, young man. And you do something nice to somebody every day. Pay it forward, it's called.
Can I pay it forward right now?
Next person you see, pay it forward to somebody.
I actually had my wallet right here.
Oh.
At $1,000.
Oh my God. This guy is something else. Okay.
For you?
No.
Yeah, I'll pay it forward back to you.
What?
Yeah. I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
What's your message to the world?
We were brought up to be kind, not to be hateful. My mother always said we have one blood, and there's no black and white blood.